Hello, welcome to the driving show. We are at episode 14, so hooray, hoorah for that. Headed to the gym as usual with you today. So let me ask you, have you gone out and exercised? Have you gotten your heart rate up? Have you lifted some weights, done some push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups, whatever it looks like in your own life? If not, here's your encouragement and your call to action. Get going. The day is about halfway through if you're on the West Coast, but maybe you're located somewhere else and you're watching this maybe the day after, then don't worry, you still have time. And it's so worth it, as I always say, to take care of and prioritize your health in order to take care of yourself, especially when we're looking at being a small business owner, whether you are aspiring and that's something you want to head towards, or you are a current owner. It's that idea of how can you take care of others, how can you serve others, lead others, if you can't even take care of yourself. So this is like one of the easiest ways you can do it is, I would say going to the gym, but you don't actually have to go to the gym. It's just you need to get out. You need to exercise, which can be done at home, but if you have the opportunity, getting out in the sunshine is so helpful and so wonderful. So there's your encouragement there. Today at the gym, it's a Friday as I'm coming to you now, so the days are always very crunched. I've got so much to do, and it's not anything to do really with work. But I think I will just get some cardio in, so I'll do some of the calisthenics stuff that I have been doing, and then also maybe go for a run, which, I'm not a runner. I would rather swim some laps to get the cardio in. But yesterday I mentioned, I'm going to go for a short swim. By the time I changed my suit and walked out there, the lanes were basically all full, and I was already kind of short on time. So I'm like, it's a sign God doesn't want me to swim. So I just did the usual wind down, cool down that I do with the sauna, steam room, hot tub. But the hot tub hasn't been hot, so I do not go in it because I don't want to sit in lukewarm water. I feel like that's gross. And I mean, I already know it has a high chlorine in it, so I'm like, I'm not gonna damage my skin. Damage my skin more to not even get the benefit of sitting in hot water. So we'll see. The cardio, the thing I like about running, because I don't normally run, is that the days after, I'm so sore in my legs and butt and just all around, even your chest, areas where you wouldn't think, but it's just the impact of going and using muscles that you don't normally use, I guess, even though I walk a lot, fast walk, all of that. So I don't know. The reason though I would caution you to being a runner long term is it's really bad for your knees and the impact on your whole body. It's not worth it in the long run. So that's why I don't make it a habit myself. Also, on that note, when I looked it up before, a lot of people that are running, you lose a lot of weight. So if you've got a lot of weight to lose, then maybe that's good and you want to do that. But I'm already, and at the time when I was in college, when I thought I was going to get into running, I was already really skinny, and I'm like, I need to do the opposite. I need to put on weight. So that's kind of why I steer clear of running altogether. They do a biking, so maybe I'll do that. But I did jump on a mentor call today, so that's something that I wanted to talk to you about and what I learned and what I will be implementing in the business. So as you know, if you've been following along, I'm coming out with this masterclass called Ground Zero, Starting a Small Business. Everything you need to start a business from ground zero, from the bottom up, no experience needed. You don't need anything. Just buy the class and we'll take it from there for you. But last month when I talked to my mentor, he was saying it's a lot harder to run ads and have them be successful to convert and get people to buy your product or service. Well, not even product, your service when it's a class or course. So he suggested you create kind of a smaller version of it, maybe a condensed version, whatever it is. You create product one or service one that's much cheaper, between $10 to $100. That way you get them in, you get them inside, and then hopefully they like what you're doing. And then the upsell is that more expensive product. The one I actually want to sell, but I'll tell you why I'm kind of changing that around and just how I speak of it. So I went into the mentor call. It was a group call. So the mentor I have, I was getting his one-on-one help through the business program I was in. that ended at the end of May. So we're in June now. But I did opt in to be a paying subscriber in his own business and for his email business that he has. And so one of the perks of being a paying member is that he has monthly calls, like group calls. And they're pretty small. When I jumped on, there was under 10, and then when I was leaving, there was a little over 10. So an average number, that's really good. Like, you guys, everyone gets a chance to ask a question. And so my question was, he had explained what I just explained to you on the last call, but I had a ton of questions. Like, I was boom, 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 get through them all. And so I've had time to think about what he said. And I was like, I want to do that because I don't have good engagement. I have a pretty small email list now. So I don't really have existing people that I can just come up with a service such as this class and say like, hey, it's ready, pre-launch, buy it, do this, good engagement there. So I do need to utilize and run ads. And so if he says it doesn't work well, like, I'm going to take his advice. Yeah, like, let's save some money, some mistakes, some of what he's seen through everyone that he's mentored and coached and consulted with. So I do need to come up with, a smaller something to start people off with. So I was asking him, like, what is the behind the scenes of that? What does that look like? Because I understand it, like when you say that, but I need to build something. So not only do I need to come up with a product or service, service, but we'll just call it product because it's easier to think of it that way. Something to sell that can be smaller, not the full-on thing, that can be in that like 0 to 100 range. So I need to come up with something like that. That's good quality, good value. It's none of this is like rush through it. So you need some time to develop something that's good. But then, do I have it on its own landing page? Which, yes, you would, because when you create these landing pages, you're not wanting people to click off the page. So if you do it on your full website, there's so many buttons to click around, and it's so fun because look at all about me, let's click that, and oh, what's this? Oh, maybe I should look at their socials. No, we want them fine-tuned on the one thing, which is buying this product. So I was kind of asking that, and then like, where and when am I upselling this? Is it in the product that they buy? I'm like constantly, oh, and by the way, you should buy this too, and by the way, but that almost seems like it's a little too salesy and scammy, spammy. Like, we don't want to turn people away. We want to bring them in, and we want them to stay, and we want to, incentivize them to be engaged with buying further products. So kind of what he suggested, and I told him I'm using card.co, which I've mentioned many times, and you can find an affiliate link of mine in the description if you want to try that out. And Stripe. And with card.co, you can set up a Stripe button, and then in my Stripe account, which Stripe is a payment processor, so they take care of all of the payment. Why did the screen just get dark? I don't know if it showed that for you guys too. I don't know. But they're the payment processor, so I set up a payment page, like a product, like I want to sell this product, here's the price, here's the information for it. Then I link that to a button, so on the landing page, you click that button, it opens up the Stripe portal, you give them your information, so I'm not seeing any of your credit card, your payment, your address, like anything. I don't get any of that. And then once the payment is approved and goes through, it redirects you to a success page. So I already know how to do that. So he was saying on that success page, that's where you can say, awesome, here's the product you just bought. Also, would you like to then, you present the other one as like an upsell and, kind of build it out from there. But here's the great thing from that. So, a couple. So he said, even from that first purchase, you now have their email, so I'll have their information. And even if they don't get that upsell right away, there's still a chance that as they go through that product, they may see more benefit to following through and actually purchasing that next product you have, that the one you ultimately want them to have. But he was also saying, and I guess, the benefit from that, from him talking through this with me and what I learned, which I think is super exciting and interesting, is that you want to have and think of them as problems. So the first product I will be coming out with, which ultimately leads to the masterclass, it needs to be fixing a problem that someone has, that has pain points. And so if I can create a good landing page that like really emphasizes that, gets people to buy in. You're saying you actually want to make sure you solve that whole problem, because nothing is worse and spammy than if you buy, say, this product for $50 that says it's going to do this, and then it's like, but by the way, that only like halfway covers the problem. You need to pay X amount more, hundreds more, or maybe 1,000 more to get the actual thing. And I've seen that with digital marketing. So I follow someone who's kind of into the digital marketing side of things, and then someone was confusing her program and system with another one, and I guess that one was like, pay $7, you get this like video training, and then you have to buy in for like 2,000 or something like crazy like that. So I understand when you're saying like you don't want to do that, because that's a crummy feeling to be like, I got a good deal, and you're like, actually no, I didn't, I still need to pay a ton more. So he was saying you want to make sure you are solving that problem, and then how other people have done it that he's seen is that by solving that one problem, you can mention, by the way, this is probably maybe a problem that comes up from that. So you solve the problem so that the customer is happy, you have fulfilled what you have given them, but maybe they have other problems that pop up, and so then you can provide that upsell to them. So I'm in the gym parking lot now, so I'll tell you my base idea that I have that I've been thinking of since this morning. So the master class is starting a small business, and I take them from the very start of starting them. But one thing I thought of that could be a good, like, this is cheaper, it's not as involved on my end, but also for the customer, but we could still have a good like video presentation in general that I can make, as well as like a pretty basic like activity guide to do, would be discovering and figuring out what kind of business to have. And that's something that I actually relate to directly, because I knew when I was leaving the startup, well, just for the last couple of years, even before I knew I was going to be leaving the startup, that I wanted to have my own business. But I didn't know what kind of business. And how do you know what kind of business? Because I'm not tech background. I can't build an app. I can't build a website. I don't have just that like hit idea. I don't have a ton of money to like hire a team of people. I tried working with some partners, and that didn't work out. So I was in a spot of like, I know I want to have one, and I think I'm supposed to, like, this isn't God's plan for me, but what am I supposed to do? How do I discover what to do? And so I actually I figured it out myself, but I was like, oh man, I know other people are like this too, where you're stuck in a job, you're working for someone else, you want to get out, you want to do your own thing, you see these accounts where people are, making money, doing what they love, they're passionate about, but you don't have the idea. You don't know how to get there. How do you figure it out? And so that's what I'm thinking I'm going to create for whether it's 37, 47, whatever it is, cheaper to get on, create that so that we can, by the time you finish that, you will have a whole system down, and you will have chosen what you want your small business to be. So that fulfills problem one of not knowing what to do. But then another problem that could arise from that is, how do you actually start it now? You see? So I am helping them with problem one of figuring it out. And maybe some people feel confident enough to know how to start the business on their own, so they don't need the upsell. But I can almost guarantee you that most people will come across that second problem of, okay, I've got an awesome idea. I'm pumped up, ready to go. And that's part of my job too, is to get them excited for what they're figuring out, what they're learning, what they're creating, to then very clearly like taking the lead and saying, okay, now you can go out and start it. But if you need additional help, we've got this for you that you can plug right on into. And if they like me and my service and what I'm providing them in that first one, it's much more likely that they will be excited and willing to purchase that second product to fulfill their problem of starting a small business. So I'm going to leave it there with you, but as I'm talking about now, it gets me more exciting. So hopefully this weekend I can get some good work on that, because ideally I need to start running ads and making money now, while I'm also creating the activity guide for the second one. I don't know, you guys, there's so much you have to be doing in your own business. Hopefully you pick that up from this, but I also hope that it's helpful to hear some of this, because can guarantee you a lot of people are not going to be sharing all this while they're going. They may look back after they've hit success or after they've come out with it. But no, I'm telling you, this is the first day I had that idea for, discovering your small business, which one you should do, looking for a small business. I got to figure out the wording. But I'm here at the gym, been here for a bit, so go out, get your exercising in, and I'll be talking to you guys next week.